apply these and they'll give you priority 9 powerful psychological strategies. 1. Reciprocity. This principle suggests that people feel obligated to return favors or gestures by offering something valuable up front, whether it's a helpful resource, a favor, or a kind gesture. You can trigger a sense of indebtedness in the recipient. This can lead them to prioritize your requests or favor you in return. Reciprocity is a fundamental aspect of human social interaction rooted in the principle of mutual benefit. When someone receives a favor, gift, or act of kindness, they often feel a sense of obligation to reciprocate in some way. This innate desire to return favors stems from a combination of social norms, cultural expectations, and the desire to maintain balanced relationships. In a psychological context, reciprocity triggers a sense of indebtedness or obligation in the recipient. When you offer something valuable to someone without expecting anything immediate in return, you create a psychological debt in their mind. This debt can manifest as a feeling of gratitude or obligation to reciprocate the gesture in the future. Reciprocity operates on the principle of fairness and fairness in social exchange. When someone perceives that they have received something of value without having to ask for it, they are more likely to feel compelled to reciprocate to restore balance and fairness in the relationship. In various social and professional settings, reciprocity plays a crucial role in influencing behavior and fostering cooperation. For example, in business, offering free samples, demonstrations, or trials of products can trigger reciprocity in potential customers, leading them to prioritize your brand when making purchasing decisions. Moreover, reciprocity is not solely about material exchanges, it also encompasses acts of kindness, support, and assistance. When you offer help, advice, or support to others without expecting anything in return, you lay the foundation for reciprocal relationships based on trust, goodwill, and mutual benefit. However, it's essential to note that reciprocity should be genuine and unconditional. Attempts to manipulate or exploit reciprocity for personal gain can backfire and damage relationships. Authentic gestures of kindness and generosity are more likely to elicit genuine reciprocity and strengthen social bonds over the long term. In summary, reciprocity is a powerful psychological strategy that taps into the human instinct to return favors and maintain social harmony. By offering value without expecting immediate returns, you can trigger feelings of obligation and reciprocity in others, ultimately influencing their behavior and priorities. 2. Scarcity. When something is perceived as scarce or limited in availability, its perceived value increases. By highlighting the scarcity of your product, service, or opportunity, you can create a sense of urgency and importance. People are more likely to prioritize something they scarcity is a psychological principle that revolves around the perception of limited availability. It suggests that when people believe something is scarce or in short supply, they perceive it as more valuable and desirable. This perception of scarcity can influence decision-making, priorities, and behaviors in various contexts, from consumer choices to social interactions. The concept of scarcity taps into fundamental human instincts and economic principles. Throughout history, scarcity has played a significant role in shaping human behavior, driving competition for limited resources and motivating individuals to secure what they perceive as scarce or valuable. In psychological terms, scarcity triggers a sense of urgency and importance. When people believe that an opportunity, product, or resource is scarce, they experience heightened arousal and motivation to acquire it before it's no longer available. This urgency stems from the fear of missing out, FOMO, and the desire to gain access to something exclusive or rare. Marketers often leverage the principle of scarcity to influence consumer behavior and drive sales. Strategies such as limited time offers, flash sales, and exclusive promotions capitalize on the perception of scarcity to create a sense of urgency and encourage immediate action. By highlighting the limited availability of a product or deal, marketers can increase its perceived value and motivate customers to prioritize making a purchase. Moreover, scarcity can also affect social dynamics and interpersonal relationships. In social settings, scarce resources such as time, attention, and opportunities can become highly sought after. People may prioritize interactions or relationships with individuals who they perceive as scarce or exclusive, leading to increased competition for their time and attention. However, it's essential to recognize that scarcity can be both real and perceived. While some resources are genuinely limited, scarcity can also be artificially created or manipulated to influence behavior. In marketing, for example, businesses may intentionally limit the supply of a product to create a perception of scarcity and stimulate demand. Overall, scarcity is a powerful psychological principle that influences decision-making and priorities by tapping into people's innate desire for what is perceived as rare or exclusive. By leveraging scarcity in strategic ways, individuals and organizations can influence behavior and drive desired outcomes. However, it's crucial to balance the use of scarcity with authenticity and transparency to maintain trust and credibility. 3. Authority people tend to defer to those they perceive as experts or authorities in a particular domain. By positioning yourself as an expert or leveraging endorsements from credible sources, you can gain trust and credibility, making others more likely to prioritize your recommendations or requests. Authority is a psychological principle that centers around the tendency for individuals to defer to those perceived as experts, leaders, or figures of influence. This principle suggests that people are more likely to comply with requests, follow advice, or accept guidance from individuals they view as possessing knowledge, expertise, or credibility in a particular domain. The concept of authority is deeply ingrained in social structures and interactions. From childhood, people are conditioned to recognize and respect authority figures such as parents, teachers, and elders. This respect for authority stems from the belief that those in positions of power or expertise have valuable insights and guidance to offer. In psychological terms, authority influences behavior through both explicit and implicit cues. Explicit cues include formal titles, credentials, and positions of leadership that signal authority to others. Implicit cues may include factors such as confidence, competence, and persuasive communication styles that convey expertise and credibility. Authority figures can exert influence over others in various settings, including academia, business, politics, and everyday interactions. For example, in academic settings, students are more likely to accept information and guidance from professors and researchers who are recognized experts in their fields. In the workplace, employees may defer to managers and supervisors when making decisions or following directives. Moreover, authority can also be established through social proof and endorsements from credible sources. When respected individuals or organizations endorse a person, product, or idea, their authority lends credibility and legitimacy, making others more likely to prioritize their recommendations. However, it's essential to recognize that authority can be legitimate or perceived. Legitimate authority is based on actual expertise, knowledge, or qualifications in a specific domain. Perceived authority, on the other hand, may be based on factors such as charisma, confidence, or social status rather than genuine expertise. In summary, authority is a powerful psychological principle that influences behavior and decision-making by tapping into people's tendency to defer to those perceived as experts or leaders. By establishing credibility, expertise, and influence, individuals and organizations can gain priority and sway others to their perspectives or recommendations. However, it's important to use authority responsibly and ethically, ensuring that influence is wielded for constructive purposes and in alignment with the best interests of others. 4. Consistency. Once people make a public or voluntary commitment, they are more likely to stick to it to align with their self-image of being consistent. By encouraging small commitments and then building upon them, you can foster a sense of obligation in others to prioritize your requests and follow through on their commitments. Consistency refers to the human tendency to align attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors with previous commitments and actions. This principle suggests that once individuals make a public or voluntary commitment to something, they are more likely to stick to it to maintain internal and external consistency. The concept of consistency is rooted in cognitive dissonance theory, which posits that people experience discomfort or tension when their thoughts, beliefs, or behaviors are inconsistent with one another. To reduce this cognitive dissonance, individuals strive for harmony and alignment between their beliefs and actions. In psychological terms, consistency operates on several levels. 1. Public commitments. When individuals make public commitments or declarations, they feel a greater sense of accountability to follow through on their words. Publicly stating intentions or goals can create social pressure to remain consistent with those commitments. 2. Small commitments leading to larger ones. The principle of consistency suggests that individuals are more likely to comply with larger requests or commitments if they have already agreed to smaller, related ones. This concept, known as the foot-in-the-door technique, involves starting with a small request or commitment and then gradually escalating to larger ones. 3. Self-image and identity. Consistency is also influenced by individuals' self-concept and identity. People tend to act in ways that are consistent with their self-image and perceived identity. When behaviors align with their sense of self, they experience a sense of congruence and authenticity. 4. Social norms and expectations. Consistency is reinforced by social norms and expectations within a given context. In many cultures, there are implicit rules and norms regarding behavior and commitments that influence how individuals act and perceive themselves. By leveraging the principle of consistency, individuals and organizations can influence behavior and priorities in various ways. Encouraging voluntary commitments. By getting individuals to make small, voluntary commitments such as signing petitions or joining mailing lists, organizations can increase the likelihood of future compliance with larger requests or actions. Highlighting past behavior, emphasizing previous actions or commitments that align with desired behaviors can reinforce consistency and encourage individuals to continue in that direction. Aligning actions with identity, framing behaviors or choices in a way that aligns with individuals' self-image and values can increase the likelihood of consistency. For example, encouraging environmentally friendly behaviors by appealing to individuals' identities as responsible citizens of the planet. Overall, consistency is a powerful psychological principle that influences behavior and decision-making by promoting alignment between attitudes, beliefs, and actions. By understanding and leveraging consistency, individuals and organizations can encourage desired behaviors and priorities in themselves and others. 5. Social proof people often look to others' behavior to guide their own decisions, especially in uncertain situations. By showcasing testimonials, reviews, or endorsements from satisfied customers or influential figures, you can provide social proof of the value and credibility of your offer. This can encourage others to prioritize your product or service based on the positive experiences of others. Social proof, also known as informational social influence, is a psychological phenomenon where people look to the actions and behaviors of others to guide their own decisions and actions, especially in situations of uncertainty or ambiguity. This principle suggests that individuals are more likely to conform to the actions or beliefs of a group when they perceive that others are behaving in a certain way. Crisis situations. During emergencies or crises, people may look to the actions of others for guidance on how to respond. This can lead to behaviors such as panic buying or evacuation based on perceived social cues. Overall, social proof is a powerful psychological principle that influences behavior and priorities by tapping into the human tendency to rely on the actions and opinions of others as a form of social validation. By understanding and leveraging social proof, individuals and organizations can shape perceptions, influence decisions, and encourage desired behaviors. Social proof operates on the premise that people rely on the behavior of others as a form of social validation or evidence of the correct course of action. This reliance on social cues helps individuals navigate complex or unfamiliar situations by drawing on the collective wisdom or experience of the group. There are several forms of social proof. 1. Descriptive social norms. This type of social proof involves observing the behavior of others to determine what is considered typical or appropriate in a given situation. For example, if a person sees others lining up outside a restaurant, they may interpret this as a sign of its popularity or quality and decide to join the queue. 2. Injunctive social norms. Injunctive social norms refer to the perception of what is socially approved or disapproved behavior. When individuals observe others being praised or criticized for their actions, they may adjust their behavior to conform to these norms. For instance, if a person witnesses others receiving accolades for recycling, they may be more inclined to engage in recycling behavior themselves. 3. Expert social proof. Expert social proof involves relying on the opinions or recommendations of perceived experts or authority figures. When individuals see respected individuals endorsing a product, service, or idea, they are more likely to view it favorably and prioritize it accordingly. 4. User social proof. User social proof involves drawing on the experiences and testimonials of other users or consumers. Positive reviews, ratings, and testimonials can serve as powerful social proof, influencing others to trust and prioritize a particular product or service. Social proof influences behavior and priorities in various contexts. Marketing and advertising businesses often use testimonials, reviews, and endorsements from satisfied customers to provide social proof of their product's quality or popularity. By showcasing the experiences of others, they aim to influence potential customers' perceptions and priorities. Social influence. In social settings, individuals may conform to the behavior of their peers to gain acceptance or approval. This can influence decisions related to fashion trends and social activities. 6. Liking. People are more likely to prioritize requests from those they know, like, and trust. Building rapport, demonstrating similarity, and finding common ground with others can increase their affinity towards you. This likability factor can influence their willingness to prioritize your needs or requests. Liking, also known as the principle of liking or attractiveness, is a psychological phenomenon based on the premise that people are more likely to comply with requests, prioritize interactions, and be influenced by those they know, like, and trust. This principle suggests that interpersonal attraction plays a significant role in shaping social interactions and decision-making processes. There are several factors that contribute to liking. 1. Similarity. People are naturally drawn to others who share similar interests, values, attitudes, and backgrounds. Shared characteristics create a sense of rapport and connection, making individuals more likable to one another. Shared experiences and commonalities foster a sense of understanding and camaraderie, leading to positive interactions and priorities. 2. Compliments and flattery. Positive feedback, compliments, and flattery can enhance liking by boosting self-esteem and creating a favorable impression. When individuals receive praise or acknowledgement from others, they tend to view those individuals more positively and prioritize their interactions. 3. Familiarity. Familiarity breeds liking. as people tend to feel more comfortable and at ease with those they are familiar with. Regular exposure to someone or something increases likability by reducing uncertainty and building trust over time. 4. Physical attractiveness. Physical attractiveness can influence perceptions of likability, as individuals often associate attractiveness with positive traits such as intelligence, competence, and sociability. People may prioritize interactions with those they find physically attractive, whether consciously or subconsciously. 5. Proximity. Proximity plays a role in liking, as people are more likely to form relationships and prioritize interactions with those who are geographically close to them. Physical proximity facilitates frequent interactions and opportunities to build rapport, leading to greater liking and prioritization. 6. Association. People tend to like those associated with positive experiences or associations. For example, individuals may prioritize interactions with others who are associated with success, prestige, or positive emotions. Liking influences behavior and priorities in various contexts. Social relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, and professional connections are often based on mutual liking and attraction. People prioritize interactions with individuals they enjoy spending time with and feel a connection to. Persuasion and influence. Liking can be leveraged as a persuasive tool to influence behavior and priorities. Individuals are more likely to comply with requests or follow recommendations from those they like and trust. Team dynamics. In team settings, liking among team members fosters collaboration, communication, and cohesion. People prioritize working with colleagues they get along with and respect, leading to more effective teamwork. Overall, liking is a fundamental aspect of human social interaction that influences behavior and priorities by shaping interpersonal relationships and perceptions. By understanding the factors that contribute to liking, individuals and organizations can foster positive connections, influence decisions, and prioritize meaningful interactions. 7. Commitment and consistency. Once people make a public or voluntary commitment, they tend to stick to it to maintain consistency with their self-image. By encouraging small, voluntary commitments and ensuring consistency in messaging and actions, you can reinforce a sense of obligation in others to prioritize your requests and follow through on their commitments. Commitment and consistency refer to the human tendency to align attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors with previous commitments and actions. This principle suggests that once individuals make a public or voluntary commitment to something, they are more likely to stick to it to maintain internal and external consistency. This principle is rooted in cognitive dissonance theory, which posits that people experience discomfort or tension when their thoughts, beliefs, or behaviors are inconsistent with one another. To reduce this cognitive dissonance, individuals strive for harmony and alignment between their beliefs and actions. There are several components to commitment and consistency. 1. Public commitments. Making commitments or declarations publicly increases accountability and social pressure to follow through on those commitments. When individuals publicly state their intentions or goals, they feel a greater sense of obligation to remain consistent with their words. 2. Small commitments leading to larger ones. The principle of commitment and consistency suggests that individuals are more likely to comply with larger requests or commitments if they have already agreed to smaller related ones. This concept, known as the foot-in-the-door technique, involves starting with a small request or commitment and then gradually escalating to larger ones. 3. Self-image and identity. Consistency is also influenced by individual self-concept and identity. People tend to act in ways that are consistent with their self-image and perceived identity. When behaviors align with their sense of self, they experience a sense of congruence and authenticity. By leveraging the principle of commitment and consistency, individuals and organizations can influence behavior and priorities in various ways. 4. Social norms and expectations. Commitment and consistency are reinforced by social norms and expectations within a given context. In many cultures, there are implicit rules and norms regarding behavior and commitments that influence how individuals act and perceive themselves. Encouraging voluntary commitments. By getting individuals to make small, voluntary commitments, such as signing petitions or joining mailing lists, organizations can increase the likelihood of future compliance with larger requests or actions. Highlighting past behavior, emphasizing previous actions or commitments that align with desired behaviors can reinforce consistency and encourage individuals to continue in that direction. Aligning actions with identity. Framing behaviors or choices in a way that aligns with individuals' self-image and values can increase the likelihood of consistency. For example, encouraging environmentally friendly behaviors by appealing to individuals' identities as responsible citizens of the planet. Overall, commitment and consistency are powerful psychological principles that influence behavior and decision-making by promoting alignment between attitudes, beliefs, and actions. By understanding and leveraging commitment and consistency, individuals and organizations can encourage desired behaviors and priorities in themselves and others. 8. Scarcity. Again, this principle emphasizes the importance of highlighting the limited availability or exclusive access to your offer. By creating a sense of urgency through deadlines, limited time offers, or exclusive deals, you can motivate people to prioritize your offer before it's no longer available. Scarcity is a psychological concept that revolves around the perception of limited availability. It suggests that when people believe something is scarce or in short supply, they perceive it as more valuable and desirable. This perception of scarcity can influence decision-making, priorities, and behaviors in various contexts. The principle of scarcity operates on the premise that people have a natural inclination to seek out and prioritize items or opportunities that are rare or difficult to obtain. This inclination is rooted in evolutionary psychology, as scarcity historically signaled the importance and value of resources necessary for survival. There are two main types of scarcity. 1. Real scarcity. This refers to situations where resources are genuinely limited or difficult to obtain due to factors such as supply constraints, high demand, or finite availability. Real scarcity can include physical goods, time, opportunities, or experiences that are inherently limited in quantity. 2. Perceived scarcity. Perceived scarcity occurs when something is perceived as scarce, even if it is not inherently limited. Perceived scarcity can be created or manipulated through various means, such as imposing artificial restrictions, creating a sense of urgency, or highlighting exclusivity. Scarcity influences behavior and priorities in several ways. Increased perceived value. When something is scarce, people perceive it as more valuable and desirable. They may be willing to pay higher prices, exert more effort, or make greater sacrifices to obtain scarce items or opportunities. Sense of urgency. Scarcity creates a sense of urgency and importance, leading people to prioritize actions or decisions related to scarce resources. The fear of missing out, FOMO, motivates individuals to act quickly to secure scarce items before they are no longer available. Enhanced attractiveness. Scarcity enhances the attractiveness of items or opportunities by making them appear exclusive or elite. People may perceive scarce items as symbols of status, prestige, or success, leading them to prioritize obtaining them to enhance their own social standing. Increased competition. Scarcity can lead to increased competition among individuals vying for limited resources. This competition can manifest in various forms, such as bidding wars, long wait lists, or aggressive pursuit of scarce opportunities. In summary, scarcity is a powerful psychological principle that influences decision-making and priorities by tapping into people's innate desire for what is perceived as rare or exclusive. By understanding and leveraging scarcity, individuals and organizations can influence behavior, drive demand, and enhance the perceived value of items or opportunities. However, it's essential to use scarcity ethically and transparently to maintain trust and credibility with consumers. 9. Reciprocity. Again, by offering value or assistance without expecting immediate returns, you can build goodwill and reciprocity. When you genuinely help others or provide value up front, they may feel compelled to reciprocate by prioritizing your needs or requests in the future. This principle is based on the idea of fostering mutually beneficial relationships through acts of kindness and generosity. Reciprocity is a social and psychological phenomenon where individuals feel obligated to return favors, gifts, or acts of kindness after receiving them. This principle suggests that when someone does something positive for another person, the recipient feels a sense of indebtedness and is motivated to reciprocate in some way. Reciprocity operates on the principle of mutual benefit and social exchange. It is deeply ingrained in human social norms and interactions as it fosters cooperation, trust, and mutual support within communities. There are several key aspects to reciprocity. 1. Unconditional giving. Reciprocity is based on the principle of giving without expecting anything immediate in return. When individuals offer help, support, or resources to others out of genuine kindness and generosity, they lay the foundation for reciprocal relationships based on trust and mutual benefit. 2. Psychological debt. When someone receives a favor or gift, they experience a sense of indebtedness to the giver. This psychological debt motivates the recipient to reciprocate the gesture in order to restore balance and fairness in the relationship. 3. Social norms. Reciprocity is reinforced by social norms and expectations within a given culture or community. In many societies, there is an implicit understanding that acts of kindness and generosity should be reciprocated to maintain social harmony and cohesion. Reciprocity influences behavior and priorities in various contexts. Interpersonal relationships. Reciprocal acts of kindness and support strengthen interpersonal relationships by fostering a sense of trust and mutual obligation. Individuals prioritize the needs and well-being of those who have helped them in the past, leading to the formation of close bonds and social networks. Business and marketing. In business and marketing, reciprocity is often used as a strategy to build customer loyalty and drive sales. Businesses offer free samples, discounts, or special promotions to customers in the hopes of eliciting a reciprocal response, such as repeat purchases or word-of-mouth referrals. Social influence. Reciprocity can also be leveraged as a persuasive tool to influence behavior and priorities. By offering help or assistance to others, individuals can increase the likelihood of receiving help in return, leading to a cycle of mutual support and cooperation. Overall, reciprocity is a fundamental aspect of human social interaction that influences behavior and priorities by fostering mutual trust, cooperation, and support. By understanding and leveraging the principle of reciprocity, individuals and organizations can strengthen relationships, build goodwill, and achieve mutually beneficial outcomes.